So, to sort of paraphrase what Dr. King was just alluding to, this is a dying system that if we do not attempt to forge our own system, then we will die with this system. So, with that being stated, let's go to another quote by Dr. King. Men cannot be satisfied with Egypt. They just try to adjust to it for a while. Many men have vested interest in Egypt, and they are slow to leave. Egypt makes it profitable for them. Some profit by Egypt. The vast majority, the masses of people, never profit by Egypt, and they are never content with it. And eventually they rise up and begin to cry out for Canaan's land. With not just America, but all of the world's former superpowers in economic disarray like Britain, France, and Germany, now is a better time than ever to pull our resources together. Though, like the above quote, some may profit from America or have interest in it, but for African Americans, your vested interest will be cut first when this economy dies. And at that point, what excuse will you have? The perpetual pursuit of excess is the reality that makes capitalism unsustainable. It creates a certain cushion to wealthy psychopathic corporations to create a society that would rather allow a human to die than to just simply distribute wealth to keep him alive. It allows oil companies to dictate legislation, war, and make billions of dollars at the expense of Americans who have no choice but to pay exaggerated gas prices. I mean, really, if a company consistently makes $36 billion dollars after its operational expenses, could it not cut its profits to $25 billion dollars just so that the whole country doesn't have to go broke pumping gas to get to work? Some African Americans, however, have been duped into thinking that this is the only way that an economy can work, and pledge allegiance in a career-long support to this gluttony. Again, this is not sustainable. However, we could use these brothers and sisters temporarily to navigate us to shore while this proverbial lake is drying up. Once on solid ground, we can institute economic practices that create and distribute wealth to the masses and the elite to share it. With that in mind, I think it's time that we introduce business practices that embody the spirit of brotherhood and equality. This is again from the Noble Drew Ali. It's a section of Circle 7 Quran entitled The Holy Unity of the Rich and Poor. It begins by saying, the man to whom God hath given riches, and has blessed with a mind to employ them aright, is peculiarly favored and highly distinguished. He looketh on his wealth with pleasure, because it affordeth him the means to do good. He protecteth the poor that are not injured. He suffereth not the mighty to oppress the weak. He seeketh out objects of compassion. He inquireth into their wants. He relieveth them with judgments and without ostentation. He assisteth and rewardeth merit. He encourages ingenuity and liberally promoteth every useful design. He carrieth his own great works. His country is enriched, and the laborers employed. He formeth new schemes, and the arts receive improvement. He considers the superfluities of his table as being belonging to the poor of his neighborhood, and he defraudeth them not. The benevolence of his mind is not checked by his fortune. He rejoiceth therefore in riches, and his joy is blameless. Woe unto him that heapeth up wealth in abundance, and rejoiceth alone in the possession thereof, that grindeth the face of the poor, and considereth not the sweat of their brow. He driveth on oppression without feeling. The ruin of his brothers disturbeth him not. The tears of the orphan he drinketh as milk. The cries of the widow are music to his ears. His heart hardened with the love of wealth. No grief or distress can make impression upon it. But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the rapacious desires of his own sake take vengeance upon him for the calamities he has brought upon others. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart? Let the poor man comfort himself. Yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons. He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. He is not embarrassed with the train of dependents, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. Debarred from the dainties of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste, the water he drinketh is not so pleasant to his thirst, yea, far more delicious water than the richest draughts of the luxurious. His labor preserveth his health, and procureth him a repose, to which the downy bed of sloth is a stranger. He limiteth his desires with humility, and the calm of contentment is sweeter to his soul than all the acquirements of wealth and grandeur. Let not the rich therefore presume on his riches, nor the poor in his poverty, yet to despondence, for the providence of Allah dispendeth happiness to them both. The current application of global business practice is completely not sustainable. Economies grow at the expense of the earth and the sanctity and sanity of the citizens. One of the reasons that those of African descent did not fare very well in this current environment is for this very reason. Our application of universal harmony is foreign to this by any means necessary business application. Only those who have been educated in a syllogistic fashion can fathom socially and environmentally unjust principles of business and think that there is no consequence. As the laws of man's character need to be fashioned from his higher self, so do the means of supporting himself. Business laws and spiritual laws need to converge in these days and times for mankind to continue. We must no longer go to church on Sunday and raise hell Monday through Friday, working for corporations that pollute our morality and spirit. So, how to use goodwill to turn profits. All right, what is the energy crisis, or so-called global warming, but indications that we need a scientific shift of means of proliferation for the good of man and the planet. We must remember that like man, the planet has a divinely constructed spirit as well. Our ancestors were some of her greatest molders, and she has rewarded us with fruit, energy, and abundance. I am in no way a tree hugger or any of these derogatory colloquialisms for environmentalists. However, I am very aware that Western man is just coming to the understanding, but has already set in motion the wheels of the earth's destruction. Our business practice as African Americans shall not continue in this manner. So how do we capitalize on this? The fact of the matter is that the energy crisis is an excellent set of circumstances to create a new earth-friendly market for energy technology. Many places like Russia or China are eager to purchase and employ such means to remove their dependency on resources that they do not have. Therefore, as black people, we should make solving this problem a business priority, as it can sustain us financially and the globe simultaneously. As long as we employ the principles above and apply the regulations below, African people can use Africa's abundant resources to power the world and strengthen our economy. So I'll briefly go in the next section into just a couple of quick business laws that could actually be used to benefit us in the future.